It's all the way live. I don't know how you are even watching this because you're probably out trying to shop, or you online shopping, or you just wondering about shopping. But welcome to the Chicken Box. It is the holiday season. Good, bad, or ugly. All kinds of emotions happen during this time. But we're here. And so we're grateful for another day. Welcome to the Chicken Box. This is your co-host, Impeccable, along with my two lovely co-hosts, CEO of the Afro Our Fearless Leader, Dr. Draper, and Ashley Fields, our assistant editor. If you have never tuned in and you're not from Baltimore, the Chicken Box is four wings and fries. Sometimes it's thick, sometimes it's greasy. Sometimes people like hot sauce, salt, pepper, ketchup. Come in the box sometimes it come in a styrofoam box. I don't even know why they put it in a styrofoam box. I think they just trying to be cheap because that melts the box all the time. But here on the Afro's platform, yes, the Afro American newspaper, or Afro News for short, Maryland's, if you didn't know, oldest black business, 131 years. Wow. Give it up for the Afro for leading the way when they wasn't even letting nobody have a business. The Afro managed to have a business for almost 7 generations now. But we're going to get into it. The Chicken Box is where you can just be who you're going to be. You can step up on the box and tell us how you feel about a certain topic. Whether you're right or wrong, that's your opinion. That's the thing that most people get in fights with. They don't like other people's opinions. So if you don't agree with what they agree, they're not your friend no more. What you say, Ashley? What you say about that?
Well, then I guess that's just their opinion. That's just their perspective.
Do you know some people like that?
I do.
If you don't agree with what it is
it's their way or the highway.
A full out argument.
Right. That's no good. You gotta be a little malleable.
Dr. Draper, have you seen that over the years?
Of course. Yeah. Everybody thinks they're right. Even when they know they're wrong, they think they're right. So yeah, I can see that. But one thing that's a universal language for most people is music, and I can't wait till we get into the conversation today with our
this is Black People versus guest. Making music. We have a very special guest. Let's introduce him to the Chicken Box. We have any music? Drum roll, anything? Oh, he's stepping up in the room. Yusha Assad. Did I say it right?
You did say it right. I like that Chicken Box, 4 wings and fries. I love it.
Oh yeah, where you from, my brother?
Originally from North Carolina, but I've actually been in DC for 15 years.
I was say I heard DC in you, but everybody from DC's family is from the South. Mm-hmm. I found out everybody South Carolina, North Carolina, strong in DC. So welcome to the Chicken Box. Ashley, you want to just give them a proper introduction, or you rather introduce yourself? You tell me how you feel.
Now I want to see what Ashley got to say.
All right.
Okay, we got a short little write-up on you, so I'm excited to share. We have Yusha Assad, who is a insightful storyteller and vocalist. He has over 20 years of experience in writing and recording music. He makes music that tells a story and inspires greatness. That was one of my favorite pieces to see. He's been doing music since the age of 7 years old and uses it to connect, inspire, and challenge listeners to live a life with great care. So here we have Yusha Assad. Welcome to the Chicken Box. Can you dive deeper into what you mean by challenging your listeners? Is it through your lyrics? Is it through the beats? How do you specifically do that?
Yeah. So basically what you read is that I connect, inspire, and challenge. So my formula whenever I write music is called CIC, sick, right? It's just kind of play off the word sick, right? And why? Because being sick is infectious. And so the whole goal whenever I write anything is connect, inspire, and challenge. And being a former educator, well, I'm still an educator, but being in the classroom, but being an educator, I learned that like the best way to challenge somebody is not by telling them what they need to do better. The best way to challenge somebody is to allow them to be challenged by your story, by the accountability that you take in your story. So the challenge part for me is always connected to how I tell my story, how I challenge myself, how I hold myself accountable.
Beautiful way to create art. Very beautiful way to create art. So you've been doing music since 7 years old. Did you start off with a specific instrument, or who or what got you attached to that specific path?
Yeah, I'm from North Carolina originally, but being a young Black boy from low social economic community, we didn't see many outlets, right? We having a real conversation. For me at that time, it was either sports, music, or I really had 4 options: sports, music, selling drugs, or working at the factory. Those were the things that I saw. Right. Plus being a preacher, because we knew it for Black folks at a time in America, being a preacher and having a church was a way to have economic mobility. So I did play sports, and I just saw music as a pathway for me. So when I was 7, we had a second grade talent show. Raven Simone at the time had a song called "This Is What Little Girls Are Made Of." I wrote a song called "This Is What Little Boys Are Made Of." I wrote my verse. I wrote my homies' verses. We did the talent show and we won. And after we won, you know what I mean? I like the props and the recognition. I was like, I got to keep doing this. And that's what it was.
So artists create off of appreciation as well, or is that your love of creating or performing, should I say?
Can you re-ask the question?
I said, do you think that artists like yourself really, the best feeling you get is when somebody appreciates your art?
I mean, yeah, it's a great feeling. It is, but I think I've just got so accustomed to like just making it and just loving the process of the release. I love the entire part of it though. You know what I mean? I love when people let me know, like, man, I listen to your music. Somebody emailed me or sent me a DM last week. Like, I've been listening to your new album. It's really getting me through right now. That matters a lot. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you don't know people be listening. And the gratitude can be delayed at my level. You know what I mean? Because it ain't like I can show up tomorrow like Beyonce and I got a stadium full of fans. It's like I find out how people feel, randomly when they just decide to, hey, I need to tell this brother. So I really just fell in love with the process and just making music and what it feels like to go into the studio and put it down.
Well, this is a different time in music, I guess, in a different era than in before. No, a fan couldn't really directly, unless they sent you a letter back in the day,
right,
really connect with you, or if they caught you like at a meet and greet or some kind of signing. But today, everybody can. I mean, I guess you can connect directly through all of these music channels and these internet channels. I guess I can go back. I'm sort of the resident also music guru in the paper as well. In the paper, I didn't even want to call it a paper, but it felt so good to say paper. But we're gonna get into that a little later. Dr. Draper, you look like you want to ask a question, and Craig Talley has a question now.
I see Craig Talley. I want to go back to something Yusha said earlier. So he said, still in the classroom. Talk to us a little bit about what were you talking about being in the classroom? You're in the classroom now. You were in the classroom.
Yeah. So I went to Winston-Salem State University for business, and I got a minor in music business. My goal was to start a record label. But while I was there, I found out that I like to read. Because before college, I was like, I don't like reading.
Got it.
But then I realized I didn't like reading because of the books they had us reading. And so there were like really 3 books that I fell in love with in college that I read over and over again, which was The Miseducation of the Negro, Souls of Black Folks, and a book called Education, also written by W.E.B. Du Bois, which many people don't know. And once I read that book, I was like, yo, the system is really rigged against us. And it explained why I had so much difficulty as a kid having other options outside of the 4 that I mentioned. So when I graduated Winston, I didn't go into business. I did a program called Teach for America and became a teacher. The first place they placed me was Charlotte, North Carolina. But then I had a personal situation that moved me to D.C. And so I ended up being transferred to D.C. I did 2 years of 8th grade math at Hart Middle School. I left there and I did another 2 years of math at Maya Angelou Public Charter School on South Capitol, on East Capitol Street in D.C. So I left education in 2013 and went into workforce development, which was still education. I was a trainer at a company for 5 years. But in 2018, I left that company and went full-time into With Great Care. With Great Care, just beyond music and beyond the label side of music, I have a program called a Hope Campaign, which is, I go into schools and I utilize coaching and consulting with the adults and the students to teach them how to use common marketing principles to reestablish new hopes and beliefs in the school and ultimately like transition the energy around climate and culture. So I'm not in the classroom right now in terms of like teaching a core subject, but I do have a leadership group that I'm running right now at Roosevelt Senior High School in DC, while I also work with the staff to help make some transition and some improvement in school climate and culture. And there's a lot of good things happening at Roosevelt, DC, in that with that collaboration.
Let's get another hand clap for you, Seth,
Wow,
a
that's great.
trailblazer in our schools, making a difference not only in the kids' life, but in the teachers' lives as well.
Yeah, yes,
Leaders,
sir.
you putting some marketing into the school system. If you just tuned in, this is Black People versus Music. This is the holiday season, the last show before uh, the holiday, however you celebrate it. I call it Christmas. You might call it whatever you call it, but that wasn't nice. I call it Christmas, and a lot of people just call it the holidays. Ian says congratulations. Craig says, who are some of the artists who inspire you?
Good question, Craig. I love answering this, and I saw your question when it came in. My father was born 1941. He was an old school dude, so I got hip to music real early in a different type of way. Right, growing up in North Carolina in the church. So my favorite artists are Sam Cooke, Lauryn Hill, Bob Marley, Jay-Z, Nas, Molly Music, and myself.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. That's what you're supposed to say.
Sam Cooke is my favorite artist of all time, though. From his voice to his life story and ultimately to his business moves.
So
Yeah,
I didn't get a chance to check out your music. Is it online?
Everywhere, Brody.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to follow you just now. So when you say you're a vocalist and storyteller. So how do you feel about the stories being told in music today? Or do you think they even telling stories?
I mean, they telling stories.
I'm talking about in. Let me go with, well. Let's you said Sam Cooke. Let's start with R&B.
I mean, they telling stories. I think the duality, right? The duality of the industry, and I think there's an interview in which Meek Mill alludes to it. Is that um, while we could tell the totality of our stories, certain stories are connected to dollars. Is the belief, right? So it's like the industry will promote certain versions of our stories because they believe it sells. Um, so when I hear brothers telling a story, it's especially whether it be hip hop or R&B, it's just like I know that at the end of the day, some of you are making concessions on the part of the story that you're telling in order to make the dollar, in order to please the label, in order to make sure that your project is getting pushed. And while I would love to be mad at you, I would love to tell you that you need to have more responsibility. I would love to hold you accountable for the story that you're telling. Can I really? Like, you got to eat. There's so many things that come into that. So I don't have a lot of like judgment and blame for people who are not necessarily telling the other side of the story. I know that there are a lot of artists who are telling, the full, they are giving a full picture in their music. And, unfortunately, our community ain't looking for them, ain't checking for them, ain't buying their music, ain't promoting their stuff. And so, until we get to a place where as a community, we stop letting mainstream tell us who to listen to, there's always going to be concession.
Boom. If you just tuned in, we talking about Black people and making music. We also talking about music, which of course we all know is personal. No matter what you think it is, or no matter what the story is, no matter what part of the story you think is left out, the creation of art is typically personal from the artist. But it is skewed, like you said, for some people just to be commercial. What I mean, the true art is created from an experience or from somebody else's experience or from something that they wish they would experience or another matter. And good songwriters, uh, they're hard to find. I mean, a really, really good songwriters who, but those, you said since 7, you've been writing, you wrote your first verses at 7. So you've had I don't know how old you are now, but you've had some practice. you've had a couple of years to figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Ashley, what do you think about when you think about, are you a lyrics or music first person?
Well, I'm from the South, so
Oh, you from the South too? Okay.
yeah, I'm from North Carolina too. I'm a fellow North Carolinian. So
Hey, what city you from, Ashley?
I'm from the 704. I'm from Charlotte. What
Oh,
about you?
let you have it. I'm from a small city called Reedsville, but it's like 20 minutes north of Greensboro, where A&T is.
Okay, okay. So that's good. You've experienced the family, the culture, everything that North Carolina puts into you, gets you ready to go out in the world in DC. Since you've lived so much life, since you lived throughout so many states, I wanted to ask you, do you feel like your music that tells a story sells pretty well? Which songs or which, stories that you tell do people pick up on more or less? And also, do you feel like because you have a smaller audience, you're able to like connect with them more, or you share more personal things, or does that make you more reluctant to be more personal because you're going to see the people that are listening and connecting with your music?
Two very good questions.
Okay, okay.
The first question, I feel like you were asking me which of my songs kind of land the best, like which ones kind of hit. I don't
Mm,
be knowing for real. I do
okay.
not be knowing.
Well,
I make the music and songs that I didn't think was going. Like I got a song right now called Form.
Mhm,
Um, People love it. People are loving that record. And I didn't even put it out on a project. I put it out because it didn't make the project. I was like, it didn't make the project, so I'm gonna drop it. You know what I mean? It's just something cool. And people love it.
mhm,
But I got a song called Work Out, where it's just like it's me singing and rapping.
mhm,
And I took an old gospel song. There used to be an old gospel song that said, "Go if you have to go by yourself." I took an old gospel song I made at the chorus, "Go if you have to go by yourself. Follow your dreams, follow your dreams." That record like goes up. People love it. But I wouldn't have expected that because to me it wasn't like my go hard record. It was really my album intro. So I
mhm.
don't be knowing, to be honest.
I'm following you now. So you say go. What do you say? Go what?
The song's called Workout.
Okay. Well,
It's
anyway,
called
I'm
Workout.
following him on IG. Put the IG back up for the brother. He's a trailblazer in the schools with the students. He's making an impact. He said he was a little black boy from North Carolina. He had 4 choices, which a lot of us think we only have until maybe somebody like Yusha shows them something different, right? So who are you going to show something different to is the question. If you're watching, do you get a chance to impact anybody? I'm not talking about you have to have your own channel. You have to work. I'm putting this out there for everybody listening. Who are you going to impact and show something different so that our young men and women, boys and girls, have more than 4 paths that they only think are the way. I'm just putting that out for thought. I'm in the holiday spirit, y'all. Dr. Draper, talk to me. You see, said Sam Cooke. He says you following him as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
All right, cool. Follow the brother, see what's
Yeah, that's
happening,
right.
and share. It might be a story that resonates with you, or a song that resonates with you. Now, you said Sam Cooke. Is that who you pattern your vocal ability off of?
Yeah, it is. Sam to me got one of the purest. You know how I got hit to Sam Cooke anyway? First of all, my father was he listened to Sam Cooke and the Soul Stirrers. He was really into like Chitlin Circle gospel music. You know, he was by the time I was born, he had transitioned into the church. He took a lot of that energy with him. But Malcolm X on the way to the Audubon Theater when they had Change Gonna Come singing.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, who is that? He said, that's Sam Cooke. And he's like, you've heard him before. And he started playing me music from Sam Cooke and the Soul Stirrers. And I was like, oh, nah, this dude different. And I went into like a whole Sam Cooke deep dive. I mean, like everything, learning. Like if I was ever a super fan, because I'm not a super fan as an adult, but if I was ever a super fan, I was a super fan of Sam Cooke. I learned everything Sam Cooke.
So yes,
Man,
I'm
go
tempted
ahead.
to ask you to sing a little bit.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen today.
Hey, come on, man. It's 4 bars. I mean, you're a
But you're in
vocalist and
DC.
storyteller, baby. You can do it.
You're in
Yeah.
DC. So where can we see you? Where do you ever perform? Are there any like local theaters that you'll ever be at that we can pull up?
Yeah, I mean, I have performances throughout the year. My next performance, y'all in Baltimore. My next performance actually is only going to be on January 13th in Virginia Beach. But I don't know. I don't know what 2024 is going to bring in terms of performance. But I may have 3 or 4 performances in the area next
Yeah,
year.
we're gonna get Karen to pull something up. We got to hear it. You kids can't be talking about you a vocalist and a storyteller.
Yeah.
Without giving us nothing. We gotta play. Send us a link or something in the background of the
I'm gonna tell you right now. If you go stream my new album, which is called "Still Working and Winning," The Promise. any vocals on that album that ain't a woman is me.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, we can't play but so much before,
Well, you know,
the meta cop said,
they only
right.
doing that to quote unquote their favorites. That's people's music that they stopping.
I own my music. You got permission?
Yeah,
Thank you. All right.
independence, we can play that. So you mentioned something called Chitlin Circuit. So we talk about making music. You know what the Chitlin Circuit is, Ashley? You ever heard of it?
Yeah, I've definitely heard of it before. Just when, people will play in the deep south and go to, different black cities and black sounds, kind of a little bit, off the mainstream.
Yeah, I mean, because that was like the only place
We were accepted.
that actors, artists, comedians could perform. I don't know why they call it the Chitlin Circuit. That's just a low down, dirty.
I like chitlins.
I mean, it wasn't low down dirty back then. Chitlin,
No,
was a
no. I'm just
as,
saying
as a,
when you call it the name, the chitlins is the intestines of the pig. Anyway, go ahead.
listen, when we was growing up, we got chitlins once or twice a year. It was mostly around Christmas because I don't eat pork no more. But growing up, and it was really like a delicacy for real. Because one, didn't nobody want to clean them. If we be real, nobody want to spend all that time cleaning them.
I don't even want to be in the house.
They did, and they cooked them. My grandma made the best pot of chitlins, and it was really like, yo, we about to get chitlins for Christmas. That was a thing. You see what I'm saying? So like, that was a black delicacy, especially in the South. It's like you about to get you a pot of chitlins. It's a real situation.
Well, that's what they said. The name derives from the soul food dish, chitterlings, boiled pig intestines. It's a play on the Borscht Belt, which referred to political resort venues in New York State's Catskill Mountains that were popular for Jewish performers. That's what the name. But that I'm on Wikipedia, so you could look that up. I just thought that was a fun fact. But that's where those were the places that we got our exposure in the music, because they weren't letting us come into the quote unquote other venues. All right, we got something. We can't hear it.
Sitting in the fall, counting God's blessings. Can see the path ahead, but can't see over. One slip, it could be over. See, that's the word of the street. Think it's sweet, then you meet Jehovah. I pray you elevate your vision so you see the motives. Just say a prayer, get your money, them your up downs. Look at that heel like what's up now. Celebrate the niggas that's beside you who do the climb with you. Heavy breathing, long strides, stay aligned with you. 10 toes never fall, do the time with you. Hit the top, see the sun, let them shine with you. Phone calls, checking in, sharing time with you. Early morning conversations, parent minds with you. That's the love we all need, let them fill you up. Stop and bill, catch a meal, they gon' fill your cup.
Yo, Yusha Assad is in the building live.
Yo.
Being powered by the Maryland's, well, I'm just gonna start saying the world's oldest black newspaper. Who's gonna refute me? 131 years and doing it now.
Yeah, let me ask you. I want to ask you this question. I know one of your passions is about telling stories that inspire young people, right? Mm-hmm. And I know that a lot of young people want to be in this music space.
Yeah.
So what advice do you have to young people who say, you know what, I'm a lyricist, I'm a storyteller, I'm a music maker, and I'm going to be the next Jay-Z. I'm going to make it really, really big. What's your advice?
My first advice, if you truly believe that and you truly had a vision for that, keep that vision on the forefront of your mind and never let yourself be deterred, and be prepared to go through every test, trial, emotion connected to that journey. And don't allow yourself to just be like, I want to be Jay-Z. Understand that Jay-Z went through stuff. He dealt with difficulty. There were moments that Jay-Z probably could have been taken out or not been here. So whatever vision you have for yourself, be ready to endure the journey that comes with it. Secondly, I'm going to tell you, make sure you understand the business. Jay-Z said it over and over. I'm not a businessman. I am a business. Let me handle my business. So understand that like music is a product. And at every moment, you're trying to make sure that that product is relatable to the customer base that you want to serve. And I know I'm using business terms right now intentionally because that's what I would tell them. Understand the business world, understand the business terms. It's called the music business for a reason. It ain't just music. You got to figure out how to move that product.
Ian Carter, thank you for your contributions. He was wondering if this brother had the plan to do a collaboration with any of the more established artists? What, what does established artist mean to you? Let me go there first.
What is it? What is established? I mean, Ian actually used the word established, so I would love to know what Ian's definition of established artist is.
Put it in the chat, but I know I think we know what you're saying. More that are more known to the masses. Are you saying that, Ian? Maybe, I don't know. I'll let him say that in his own word. If you want to answer that question, I'll come back to it.
Wow.
Oh, go ahead, Ashton.
No, I just had another question, but if you were going to answer that one.
Well, I was just gonna say there are artists out there who are not well known, but are making really good money doing music because they figured out the independent play. Like, you know, especially if you consider some of the Midwest artists like a MF Doom or the brother's name is just slipping my mind right now, but he's his own independent artist. He's been doing this thing. Or if you consider artists like Russ, or even if you think about DC's Odyssey, who spends a lot of time overseas, like they not necessarily industry-based artists or record label-based artists, but they're doing really well for themselves. So that would be more established financially. But if you're just talking about people who are well known, there are a lot of well-known artists who are known, but they ain't necessarily like, you know, they're well known, but they don't own their image. You know what I mean? Cameron being sued right now for using his own face.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow, you just dropped. This is Black People versus Making Music. We're having a great conversation with Yusha Assad, vocalist, storyteller. Looks like we heard him spit some bars just a second ago, and maybe if we find him singing somewhere online, Taryn, we could play that as well. You know, I'm trying to hear live. I'm gonna keep saying it, Yusha. You know. Anyway, Vanessa, Ian, Jewel, Dre, Greg, and everybody else who hadn't put their name in, thank you for stopping by and showing some love, not only to the Chicken Box. Reginald, what's happening? Oh yeah, Reginald says, love that Yusha lifts the business in addition to music. I've been in the music business for over 30 years, and the word business is definitely bigger than the word music. Yusha, I have been managing Drew Hill since they were 14. So that's how far and deep I go back into the music business. And I also am here at the Afro. I'm here for it, 131 years. But I am with you lockstep, and I applaud you for everything that you're doing, because it's a treacherous game that you play in the music business, but it's like, okay, you got a guy from the hood not making a lot of money. He don't choose number 4 to sell drugs, right? And then somebody says, record label, sign here, but you maybe can't even use your own face. No money, some money. You sign that bad deal. Is it a bad deal? You say it's a bad deal, but maybe it's not a bad deal, because if they spend a couple $1 million to make your brand and name great, was it a bad deal? Because if you didn't sell anything, they're not going to come take your house or give you a bad credit mark. It's just going to be a write-off for them. So you got to just put it in perspective. And I'm for ownership, but at the end of the day, it still becomes marketing, right?
Yeah.
But if, like you say, it's some independent artists that none of us have heard of who are making probably more money than a lot of the quote unquote well-known artists in the industry, because they've learned to like what's the guy's name who did the cookie, Famous Amos. He used to want to give his cookie to everybody he could see, and everybody didn't like his cookie. So what he started doing, he started just giving that cookie to only the people who like it. So when you're an independent artist, when you find the people who connect with you and you can connect with them, I mean, if you can connect with 1,000 people and throughout the year they're willing to invest or spend on your art $100, that's $100,000.
Yeah, I tell artists all the time, my real goal is 10,000 people worldwide who are willing to spend $100 with me a year.
There you go. We broke it down to the simple math to the artists out there. You don't have to sell millions of records. I mean, back in the day, the whole thing was, you know, can you go platinum? Can you go gold? You know, all of these standards, but those gold and platinum standards were making the money for the label. you as an independent artist, or you as an artist, period, because you can connect with your people who like what you like the cookie that you got. The sky's the limit, and the technology has changed so much. You can make a song right here, right in your bathroom, in your bedroom,
All right,
anywhere.
make a song on the chicken box. Here we go.
Man, we can make a song
Come on,
wherever.
let's make a song on the chicken box, y'all. Come on, why not?
All right, we're gonna bring you.
Box with two
Are you
X's.
gonna do the whole thing? I mean, do you do the beats too?
Nah, I stay away from production.
All right, who you work with?
My last project I worked with this dude named Enon. He out of Cleveland. He also produced some records for my boy Kariga Bailey, who lives out in the Bay.
We're gonna bring you, Enon. We need anybody else. What he gonna work on? His MPC, play key. What he do?
I don't know how Enon cooks up his magic for real.
All right, well, we're gonna create a live song in 2024 on the chicken box.
Easy.
And you're gonna be the storyteller of this particular song. We might do it. We might even do it once a month. It might be a new music series.
What Terrence say? Make a chicken bop for chicken box. Listen.
Chicken box.
Sound like we got some lyricists in the
Hey, some lyricists in there. Reginald Will, can the Afro do a story on the Baltimore Lightning pro football? Yes. Yes, we can, Will. Send a note to Taryn. Put in the chat where to send a note.
Hey, Will, Hannah, good to see you. But you know what? We're laughing about this, but truly, collaborations and projects work. So maybe we will talk about that. As people, African American, we're so creative anyway, and a lot of times our creativity doesn't stay in our community; it goes someplace else, right?
Right.
So we can absolutely work together and create something. Because you know what? In our business, in the media business, what are we? We're storytellers. That's it. And we have lots of stories and lots of things to tell. So what kind of stories really are you inspired to tell?
Yeah, good question. Stories that I want to come true.
Okay.
No, okay. I say that because, there's a spiritual component to music that most of us understand. And I learned very early on that, and I learned it in real time, that a lot of the stuff that I rapped about, even though I might have been rapping about something that happened in the past or just making up a story creatively, like from a creative writer perspective, end up coming true in my life. I made a song at 17, and by the time I was 22, I was sitting in the middle of that song. Like, my life was the song, and I was like, whoa.
Tell us about it. Tell us about what was going on at 17.
Oh, son, you want all my...
I want it.
My vulnerabilities, Dr. Draper.
Well, you already put it out there. I mean, you made the song, right?
Yeah, I made a song at 17 that was discussing a young boy who essentially had got a girl pregnant.
Okay.
And had literally did everything he could to kind of like show up and live and just be a good man, from struggling with work to do what he could to like take care of his child and his daughter. And I saw that because we saw it in the hood all the time. Like, we just saw it. But I made a song about it. And by 23, it was 23. That was my life. And I looked at my life and I was like, oh, nah, this got too much power connected to it. And then I started like really tapping in with like listening to artists like Jay-Z and how they rapped. And I found out that, like, especially if you combine the ideas of like affirmation and how we speak over ourselves. And then, of course, growing up in the church, life and death is in the power of the tongue, right? If you have the power, the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. And I started connecting all of that stuff to like how it shows up in music. And I was like, oh, anything I say out of my mouth has the potential to be established for me. So let me make sure that I only rap about things that I want to see come true. And I rap about that in an affirmative way. So I like to tell all my stories for real, but I'm going to very intentionally tell you the real story of what I'm dealing with while simultaneously speaking my way out of it. Like, if I got to tell you about a deep, dark thing I'm dealing with, I'm going to use that song to also speak my way out of it, because I ain't trying to stay there.
Got it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty transparent.
Come on, tap in. Ask all the questions.
Yeah, that's being pretty transparent. So we want to know about Yusha Assad. We just should go and start listening to your music, and we'll know a whole lot about you.
No, I'll give you the chronological order. So I got 5 projects. One you can only find on YouTube is called With Great Care, the Heart.
Say it again. Say it again. It's called
With Great Care, the Heart.
With Great Care, the Heart. Okay.
That talks about all the struggles that I dealt with growing up.
Okay.
The Struggle, which is the next project, is talking about my struggles with business and my struggles with marriage, because I was married. I married that girl that I was in the situation with at 23.
The one that you knew about at 17.
The one I rapped about at 17,
right.
but didn't know about yet. You see what I'm saying? I spoke it into existence.
Well, you knew about it. Prophetically, you knew about it. It just hadn't come to pass.
See, you talking different language now, Dr. Draper. I'm with you.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm with you. The Dream, With Great Care, the Dream is the third project. That's me processing the divorce. And it's me processing how I need to move after that and still being able to be like, I'm still going to make it. Regardless of the difficulty, I'm going to figure it out. Then you got Working and Winning, which came out in 2019. That is a very affirmative project. I intentionally made that project so that anybody who raps the lyrics could speak affirmations over their life. Still storytelling, still deeply connected, but it was very intentional. Like Andre three Stacks with this new project where all of the beats are kind of in 540, the megahertz of love. It's kind of like that. And then the new project, Still Working and Winning, it's still a very affirmative.
Pause right there. Did y'all pick up what he was saying?
Mm-hmm.
I know Dr. Draper did. That's why I started
talking. I'm talking about everybody out there listening. You about the megahertz, about how those different frequencies, emotions, healing, state of mind, energy. Anyway, we're gonna get onto that. Which megahertz did you say that was? Let me write that down.
I think the one for the heart chakra for love is 540, I believe.
540.
And I think they infused that in Andre's project, this flute project. That's what his project was about. He was like, y'all ain't gonna get these words, y'all can get this healing. And in my last project, Still Working and Winning, it's still a very affirmative project, but it's like, how do I help my people heal post-pandemic, post losing family members, post going through one of the most challenging moments of our history, which I believe, if we go back to the project before that, Working and Winning, we are living in the universal rhyme of 100 years ago. They say history repeats. I got a song that says history repeats and it surely rhymes. So even if it doesn't repeat exactly, it rhymes. 100 years ago, we had a pandemic. It's called a Spanish flu.
So that means that. So we can go a step further, right? So it's one thing to do the historical looking back. So will your new project or the one after that give us a heads up about what's to come?
My new project,
because one of your spiritual gifts is prophecy through music. So I'm just curious about that.
Oh, Dr. Draper.
Oh, Yusha Assad.
Okay. There we go. What I do believe, this project, the one that just came out, is called Working and Winning, The Promise. I talked about it in this project and the one before, right? If we are looking back, if we're understanding patterns and we're understanding like where we can go as a people, even if we talk about this 130-some-year-old business, that's one of the most profound businesses we have in Black culture, then we are talking about ushering in a new time where, if we think about Brownsville and Chicago, if we think about, I got a song called 10 that's on my last project. Listen to it. It's X as in 10, but then the number 10. But if we think about Brownsville and Chicago, Harlem Renaissance, Durham, North Carolina, Tulsa, Oklahoma, there was a period after the Spanish flu where we see the Great Depression is bringing down the financial system of broad America, that then Black folks across America are having to depend on each other. And so because of that, we see the bus system in Winston-Salem State. We see a burgeoning period of Black economics in America. Post-pandemic, whether people know it or not, there were more Black businesses opened up during the pandemic than historical numbers of Black businesses that were started. I think we are moving into a time as a people where economic promise, collective collaboration, all of that is about to come back in full force. And I think we just need to be mindful of what happened last time and how we make sure that we keep it. My next project, I just got the vision for it yesterday. I will not tell you the name, but I will tell you it is connected to, the next project will be connected to teaching, communicating, and telling the stories of what it looks like to stay in your peace, regardless of what's happening outside the walls of your castle.
Good God, boy, you made me pull out some paper. You were in another
Dr.
realm.
Draper did that.
You were
I
in
did not
another
do
realm.
that.
The Lord did
I did
that. Yusha.
It's way before me.
I wouldn't have got there if she ain't identify who she
But
was.
you're already there, and I'm just curious, and you can speak to a little bit about it. Sometimes when you're there, like you are, and you are able to make those connections, then people think you're strange.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, people think I'm strange. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't worry about those things. So there are things that you've written, probably. I'm just guessing that you've not yet revealed because some things, you know, just are not ready yet for that. But what gives you your inspiration? I heard Sam Cooke gives you your inspiration. I heard your father gives you the inspiration. I heard that the church and your that association, your connection with God gives you, a lot of inspiration. I heard you get some inspiration from other artists, but that's not your main inspiration. So is there anything, what else gives you inspiration for the work that you do?
Vision.
Okay.
A vision. I think I actually did an article. I did an interview with a magazine a couple weeks ago in November, and I told them, I said, a lot of times I write from the downloads I see, which is why I might write stuff. Like I wrote my song called 10 says 10, we making the people conscious again. Wall Street revive, the black dollar we spend. Women are getting giving birth to the black goddess within. Black folks, white folks admitting there's heaven in black skin, right? So I write the song. I got a lot of homies like, bro, what you saying? Like that ain't happening. I said, but it will.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I know my music be ahead of the game. A song I got on my last project was kind of turned up a little bit, but it's I put that date on the line, 100 years younger is looking back saying I was the greatest of minds, because I noticed some of the stuff I'm saying people can't see yet, and I can't help but see what I see. So, a lot of my writings comes from where I know we going as a people. And a lot of my other inspiration is like, if I see a person, and education has taught me this, right? If I see a student dealing with a difficulty, if I see the community going through a difficulty right now, DC, if you talk to the average person in DC, they're going to be like, DC is crazy. The crime rate is crazy. Like it is bananas. Like the kids is in the street doing all boom, boom, boom. And I see it all, but I also see something else. And I'm like, as bad as it is, and we losing families, and I see it, but I'm also like, hold on, just hold on. All of this there's going to be a change.
Mm-hmm.
So I write really to instill hope in our people, to never let what you can see with your physical eye cause you to speak, move, or doubt who we are as people and where we still going. So I really, my greatest inspiration is like, how do I leave hope in the people so that, they know how to win, working and winning. It's an affirmation. It ain't me trying to boast or brag. It's like, yo, if you woke up this morning, your body works. If your body works, you got everything you need to win.
Absolutely. And I think that's why songs are timeless, like Sam Cooke's song, change is going to come, or even the prophetic music of a Marvin Gaye that people are still listening to, 50, 60 years later, but not really getting to the root of the message, but it's still there. So, yeah.
Dr. Draper brought this strange conversation up to play. Listen,
It's not strange. It's not strange.
I get it. I get it. I get it.
We out here, y'all. This is this is the Chicken Box. This is Black people making music. We got visionary Yusha Assad on with us. Thank you, Will, Nick, Laura, who've chimed in and joined in. Happy holidays to everybody. We all have a song that can remind of some experience in our life, even a time period in our life. And when you go back and you think about it. And I thought about Michael Jackson when you were thinking that. It's just back. I was 5 years old, and we had to learn "Give Love on Christmas Day." I don't know if y'all know that good old Christmas record.
They still playing it.
Yeah, but they wrote the words. I was 5 years old, but then when he died. Originally, I wasn't like, I was sad. But then one day, I started listening to all of the songs, and I was like, man, it was a Michael Jackson record all through my life, and I went through all of these lives. I teared up for the brother. I mean, it was the music and the emotion of the moments in time that those stories impacted, and that's what happens with music. You might remember when you're sad, you broke up with somebody, or you got married, or you had it was a birthday, or it was a 16th, 21st, 30th, whatever birthday celebration it is. Music just rocks the world. If you've ever traveled outside of the country, they said the biggest most recognizable brands were Coca-Cola and Motown. Mm-hmm. So you could be in Germany or they're just playing black music. They're playing black music all over the world.
That's fire.
And it's because creatives like yourself and those listening that continue to just create the art, you know what I mean? Because sometimes it's just you think you can't do it, and it's like, well, is it trash? You know what I mean? But it's like it all starts off as trash, okay? But it's your trash. Just put it down and record it and make the music. Don't let the music make you, and it's going to impact somebody along the way. It might not impact everybody, but it's going to impact somebody. Ashley, you've been real quiet, so I'm gonna let you, our DC editor, you and Yusha, probably. You live in the district now?
I do, yes.
Both of you guys.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually in the city.
All right. So we gotta do something. We gotta do something. Well, we're gonna do something. I just thought of it while you were saying it's gonna be the Afro music box. We're gonna have the chicken box, and then we're gonna have the Afro music box. And that's going to be a new show it's going to be about making music. We're going to make some music live online. We're going to talk everything about music because black music is just synonymous with our history. We have archives at the Afro that go back to the earliest artists, pictures, and all kind of things. So it's going to be a great year. All right, so this is where you get on the box. Anything? I mean, you know what? You want us to play anything? Anything else? Fans, follow him on IG. My brothers and sisters, pull up his IG one time. Again, Taryn. If you haven't followed, follow and liking doesn't hurt nobody. Just a little click. It just helps everybody.
Yeah, I got a song called Smile. Y'all can play.
All right. If we find Smile before we end, Taryn, I want to, my whole thing is about smiling. And if you haven't smiled today, now is your chance to smile today. You don't have to be mad because you haven't, like you said, you woke up and you're winning. So now you can go to work.
Got everything you need.
Everything you need.
You just got to have the right mindset for it. You gotta
lock in. Right. We got to lock in, y'all. All right, here we go. Smile.
Smile cause you know that you ain't homeless. Smile cause you finally got your own shit. Smile though everyone else around you wouldn't loan a pot to piss, instead they just pissed around you. Smile cause you made it through all that fucking hatred. Smile cause you believe that you could always make it. Smile cause you never once had a doubt about it, though the ones you call brothers expressed their doubts about it. Smile cause you know that's not how it should be, but your testimony is everything that it could be. You stood in faith when the doctor said they had no idea. Said you were ready, then God gave you a new idea. Speak to the promise of how your body's supposed to feel. Tell them you're great until that feeling becomes your real. Smile for your car cause you know your credit was in the dumps. Smile cause you're winning, though the country elected Trump.
Smile. I saw some of y'all faces when y'all heard them cuss words. It's all right. Unless you watch all them shows and they and them words still come on. You're gonna be all right. You might have said some of them yourself. Anyway, we are back live, Chicken Box, making music is what we're talking about. We're talking to visionary vocalist and storyteller, and also prophet, Yusha Assad. Yeah, well, you already knew it. We're just saying what you know already. And we have had a great experience. He's even spoken some life into the Afro. He's spoken some life into your businesses, all of you who started businesses during the pandemic, and where you have to usher into this new era of the way we do business, and how we have to do business with each other instead of so much hating. Okay. This is not a shameless plug. This is a plug. We are the oldest business, 130 years old, Afro-American newspaper. Go to afro.com. For $40, you can get the digital edition. It helps bring young, bright, smart professionals like Ashley. It helps us pay for these type of programs by expanding our reach with advertising. And we're not owned by anybody. Nobody can come check us and say, we don't like the story you're writing about Yusha. We don't like him, so cut him out. We're going to tell the stories not only of quote unquote the established people. We're going to because everybody's established at the Afro. And now you're in the archives. You are in history. You and Sam Cooke are in the same history archives,
brother.
So, but it all happens when you go to afro.com. It's a great Christmas gift, y'all. Matter of fact, you wondering what you going to do? Forget the gift card this year. Just send them a subscription to the Afro. And if they like paper, for $100, you can get the paper and the digital. For $40, it's just the digital. It might even be a sale right now. Why do we always want a discount when we black? You don't go into Gucci and get no discount. Anyway, that's another whole show. We always try to do each other's down. If the value is there, pay the price. Stop beating each other up because you pay it other places. All right, I'm on the box, y'all. I'm on the box. I love this topic, making music, but I also love when we get in our mind, not that we don't do business with other cultures, but we don't do business right with each other. And until we do business right with each other, those $1 billion that go in everybody else's community won't uplift our community.
In due time.
I'm appreciate in due time. There it goes, happening. So Yusuf said the shift is happening, and we're gonna wake up, and now we're gonna really understand. But look, you got to do good business, black, business owners. You can't be janky. You gotta have black excellence at least as the mindset, so that we can really do this thing. Don't be half stepping. If you say you in this bed, you clean carpets, you the best carpet. Whatever you do, it's gotta be. Well, that's how we accelerate in everything else, music, sports, everything else. Our level of excellence has to be here. And then just pull your checkbook out and stop complaining. You circulating on that? Jump in, okay?
Yeah, I want to jump in. I want to say this, right?
Box, go ahead.
I think our victory isn't business immediately, and I'm gonna tell you why. I think right now we're watching ourselves go through, and especially if you look on social media and how much of the conversation is around love and black relationships, we are watching ourselves trying to undo something that the FBI did on purpose, which was destroy the black family so that we didn't have a power base. Now we're gonna get into the deeper essence of it. I think our first real win is reestablishing, and it's happening, but reestablishing black love, black family, black marriages. Our black women are winning, running circles in the world, in corporate businesses, in their own businesses. They are building collaborative networks and brunching and having a whole situation. I'm watching it because I run a black-owned vendors market in DC called the Jericho Market. It's for black business, and it's all women in there and me. And I run it. They winning. And what I feel like is, and what I understand is that though though our black women have had the opportunity to navigate corporate structures, I think really differently than strong black men, right? They've had this opportunity to kind of like to navigate it because they're not as feared as us, but they are the most powerful piece on the board. I still see a lot of black women in these corporate structures making good money who don't feel safe every day. I think our true safety is connected to what we build collaboratively. So even though I feel like economics is the play that's coming, I think the first play that's coming is healing the heart of black folks so that we can love and trust each other again across gender lines and reestablish the black family, which then builds the black community, which then says, hey, you down the street who has this business and me up the street who has this business, we gonna buy from each other.
I received that. I hope y'all did too.
So there's gonna be a lot of songs about love on my next project too, by the way.
All right. Ashley, you're in the box. Final thoughts.
No, I just want to say thank you so much to Yusha for joining us today and being able to discuss the music catalog that billions of Black people have added to over the years. I think one of the reasons that we've done so well is just because we're such an authentic group of people, and that really makes our music sound different as far as going from soul to R&B to rock and roll to hip hop to any genre. I really wanted to circle back to the three books he mentioned earlier, two by W.E.B. Du Bois and the other called The Miseducation of Black People. I think, just a better understanding of ourselves and can always add to the art that we produce. And so I would encourage anyone that's listening today to read those books. There's a new hashtag that's coming around, and it's called, I Read Banned Books. And so I think it would be really cool if, somebody read one, tagged us at the Afro and tagged, I Read Banned Books. And I think it would be a great, way to educate people on Black people and Black music. And just the Black history that we're all adding to each and every day at the Afro. So thank you so much, Yusha, for joining us. And, keep watching the Chicken Box. You never know who might be on next.
Well, I'm going to get his number because he coming on to the music box. We said we're going to make our first record online. Boom.
With that,
Dr. Draper, you
Listen,
want
I have so much. I have so much to say. We don't have but a couple of minutes to close out the box for the day. So I'm gonna get on the box really, really quickly. One thing that Yusha said so many things, but we really are out of alignment. We're out of alignment with God. We're out of alignment with one another in terms of how we really are supposed to interact. And love is central. So this is not a secret. My husband and I have been married 50 years next month. So I've been posting on IG, Facebook every day. One tip, I'm doing 50 for 50, 50 ways you can say married for 50 years, right? So, and to get us back into alignment with the way it's supposed to work. It's not, but the forces against healthy relationships, we have allowed to come and divide and make this big divide between gender, between all kinds of things, when we were really created to be collaborative. How do we think we made it through enslavement? We didn't make it through enslavement being separate. We made it because we understood what our purpose was. We understood that we were going to get delivered, from this thing, and we didn't dwell on the atrocities of enslavement. We knew they were there, but we always had hope. And we always knew that we were, to put it in a religious context, bound for the promised land. And we knew it was going to happen before we got to heaven. So anyway, that whole understanding that, and the banned book piece, that's just another attempt to keep us from really connecting with who we are and where we're going and how we're going to get there. Right? Because a whole lot of folk before us were going in that right direction. And so I want to applaud you, Yusha, for what you're doing in the space that God has given you to operate in and beyond, because each of us have a calling, each of us has a purpose. And if we all operated in that calling and purpose to the maximum of our ability, we would then see the results that we are looking for. Mm-hmm. So we got to start speaking positive affirmations over ourselves, over our families, over our cities, over our situations, and not get distracted by what's going on, by what can be. So kudos to you, my brother. Keep on doing what you're doing. and the way that you're doing it. Keep on inspiring young people and
Dr.
letting them
Draper,
know,
you're special.
huh?
You're special.
Just I'm special. Bless
Special.
you. Thank you. Thanks. So keep on inspiring because my passions, and Ashley will tell you because she knows, is to push people to their purpose, especially young people.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of this, we do this show, which is multi-generational, intergenerational, but we need something from every single generation. And we have to start speaking life to ourselves first, and then speaking life to those around us. So I'm excited about what you're doing presently. A lot of times people say, "Well, I'm excited about your future." I'm excited about your present.
Dr. Draper.
I'm done. I'm off the box. I'm getting off. I'm getting
Right,
off.
I'm about to slide your couch up there. No, but that's the first time. My wife calls me the purpose pusher. I never know that. I mean, I know that you do that, but I didn't know that you. I say the same thing anyway.
So read for those who are watching, read my 50 for 50. Okay. I'm
Read it
on
and share it.
it's shared. It's shared. It's on Facebook. It's on Instagram. It's there. So I just posted tip number 15. I'm doing 50. When I say let me rephrase it. My husband and I wrote out these 50 things before we started. Of course, we had more than 50, and then we are, putting it.
Well,
So
put her IG up there, Taryn. Because listen, those
if I put my I don't even know.
Anybody following me, if you see 15 stories today of these tips, you know what it is. Because we need y'all. We need y'all. We need your husband to teach all of us young men how to make sure we don't see our wife as our opposition.
Yep.
We need all of the women. We need you to teach all of the women how to make sure all of the women to make sure that they understand. How to. I can't tell you what the women need to know, but we need you. But we definitely need your husband.
You're right. So yeah, we need to do that. That's my IG handle up there.
Come talk to us.
Right. That's exactly. And there are a whole lot of us that have things that we can, that we can share and we don't share, or we act like we always had it together. And A, we haven't, but B, we made it, and C, we have a responsibility. And that's what the folk who, that if we really go back and look at those Motown songs and really dissect, the reason they're still like timeless is because the message. When they sung about dancing in the street, they weren't talking about having no party. They were talking about coming together in the street to make a difference in the world. I'm done. I said I was off the box.
And that Afro music box is going to be jumping next year. I'm telling you. It's jumping. Look. The good thing about having your own space is if you go over, you go over. So what? It's not NBC saying, "Hey, shut it down, buddy. We got to put on the Super Bowl commercial." Anyway, y'all, happy holidays. You know what I always say. If you haven't called the senior, do not text them. Call a senior, uncle, aunt, grandma, somebody in your life, a senior who's impacted your life, and just tell them how much you love them, that you're thinking about them, and they'll be so happy. You will make their month by just calling them today. Also, share with somebody else. Share some love with somebody else. Impact somebody else and show them another side because they may be like Yusha was as a child that only saw 4 avenues. Church, factory, selling drugs, or what was the other one? I forgot. But it was a limited amount of avenues. Now he looks like the Matrix. So until next week, God willing.
And somebody wrote in, don't forget about Curtis Mayfield. You don't
forget about Curtis
Ain't
Mayfield.
nobody want me to forget about Curtis. Ian, you gonna have
All
to
your children laughing around you. These are the makings of you. Come on, Curtis.
Come on, Curtis. Anyway, y'all pulling out some music now. All right, we're gonna do it next year. My brain is spinning around. But thank you again, Yusha, for sharing. Stay on for a second when we hang up.
Did Yusha get on the box? Did he have a chance to say his final?
I thought he did, but get back on there if you want to.
Back on the box because they own this and we can go over. You see what I'm saying? Yusha Assad, YUSHA ASSAD, leader of the movement entitled With Great Care. This is actually one of my hats too. But where we tell people don't just strive to do great things, but do everything you do with great care, purpose, and intention, right? And if that's your focus, if your focus is to do everything with great care, purpose, and intention, you're going to naturally walk your way into greatness. And that's what, that's what this time is about for us. So stay tapped in with me and the stuff that I'm doing. And if you like it, share it and support it. And if you don't, share it and support it anyway, because I asked you. And I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Sometimes people, you can do something nice just because somebody asked you.
Yeah, man.
Or do it when they didn't ask you and you still did something nice. Hey, it's called a random act of kindness. It's time to give one. Tip a little bit. Somebody's their money is just enough, and they're not gonna have enough to buy all 3 of the kids something. So just tip them just a little bit more.
Oh, can I say one thing? Listen, I know we in Baltimore DMV. Me and my homies, 924 8th Street, Northeast DC. If there are any families who need some toys for your kids, we are giving away toys this Saturday at DCI, District Creative Institute, 924 8th Street, DC, Northeast.
924 8th Street. Come on, come through. Pick up something if you can. If you're in a space this year and you can't pay for it, don't be embarrassed. Come down to 924 8th Street. No judgment zone. Just free love. Anyway, y'all, happy holidays. Look forward to connecting with you next year. I think we're going to take next week off. Just let everybody rest and get our creative juices going for the new year. But happy holidays, everybody. God bless.